Your code is probably fine. The system that deploys it is the problem. Every developer who pushes to a platform like Vercel is quietly making a deal. Hand over your environment variables, your build secrets, your production credentials, and trust that the platform treats them with the same care you would. In April 2026, Vercel published a security bulletin that stress-tested that assumption for millions of developers at once. Vercel is what engineers call infrastructure as a service, but really it's a trust machine. You push code, it pulls it, builds it, injects your secrets, and deploys it globally in seconds. It handles millions of deployments. It sits between you and your users. And because it sits between you and your users, it needs access to nearly everything sensitive about your application. That's not a flaw in the design, that's the design. In April 2026, Vercel detected unauthorized access to internal systems. The bulletin used the careful, lawyered language that characterizes all security disclosures, words like limited and potential exposure. Customer account metadata was involved. Some environment configurations. Possibly more. The specifics filter out over time, as they always do. But the genre of the incident is immediately recognizable to anyone who has watched the last decade of cloud security. A trusted intermediary becomes an attack vector. Think of a deployment platform like an airport, thousands of organizations sharing the same physical infrastructure, separated by access controls and trust assumptions. If someone gets a master badge, they're not just in one terminal. And in the cloud, a master badge is usually a misconfigured service role, a leaked token, or a credential that outlived the employee who created it. The perimeter isn't a wall. It's a negotiation. Vercel detected the intrusion, contained it, and published a disclosure within days. This is, genuinely, the system working correctly. Most people reading that bulletin probably sighed with relief. The subtler reaction is to notice that every platform you depend on has a draft version of that bulletin waiting for its own date. The question isn't whether it will happen. It's whether you'll be told fast enough to do something about it. Modern web development is a stack of trust relationships. Your app trusts Vercel. Vercel trusts AWS or Cloudflare or whatever edge layer lives underneath. Those providers trust their hardware vendors. At each layer, someone has assumed the one below them is secure. This is called the supply chain problem, and it's why the most successful attacks in the last 5 years didn't target the application, they targeted the thing that builds and deploys the application. Okta, Circle CI, GitHub Actions, NPM. The last few years have been an unbroken run of deployment layer incidents, and the pattern is consistent. Attackers don't hack your app anymore. They hack the pipeline. Your code can be flawless, your dependencies well audited, your security team excellent, and a compromised build system still undoes all of it before your app sees a single user. What actually changes after an incident like this? Better secrets rotation. Short-lived credentials. Zero-knowledge architectures where platforms process your builds without ever holding your keys in plaintext. Behavioral anomaly detection in build pipelines. None of this is new research. Most of it is just harder to prioritize than the next feature. Security is a product decision before it's a technical one. The gap between incident detected and incident publicly disclosed is the most honest metric in the security industry. It compresses an entire company's culture, legal team, and ethics committee into a single number. Vercel published within days. Some companies take months. Some discover they've been breached by reading someone else's blog post. The platform worth trusting isn't just the one with the best uptime numbers, it's the one that tells you what happened before you have to ask. Strip away the disclosure language and 3 things remain: your secrets lived on someone else's infrastructure, that someone got breached, and the only thing standing between you and a very bad day was how quickly they decided to tell you. The attack surface isn't your application, it's the conveyor belt that carries it to the world. Build systems. Deployment platforms. Package registries. Every layer you didn't write, don't control, and probably haven't thought about since you configured it. The supply chain isn't a metaphor anymore. It's the actual threat model. And the organizations that treat it that way, short-lived credentials, zero-knowledge builds, aggressive rotation policies, aren't being paranoid. They're just early. What strikes us isn't the incident, it's our own first reaction, which was relief. Relief that they disclosed fast. Relief that it wasn't worse. We've quietly recalibrated what counts as a good outcome, and we found out in time to rotate the keys now clears the bar. Maybe that's maturity. Maybe it's just a very slow way of accepting that we've handed the keys to a long chain of parties we'll never fully audit. Vercel told you. The next one might not. And somewhere in that chain right now is a credential that outlived the employee who created it, attached to a service role nobody remembers configuring. So here's the thing we keep coming back to: if the platform you trust the most is only as safe as the layer underneath it that you'll never see, what does it actually mean to ship something secure?